MyFantasySportsTalk.com.
Well, welcome back, My Fantasy Podcast peeps. Thanks for joining us again. Thanks for checking out our last episode, kind of catching you up on some mailbag questions and catching you up on NBA, NFL, AAF, whatever else we talked about. It's so hard to keep up with all you guys, throwing us in different directions all the time, but we love it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us again. I am your host, Brandon Reed. My co-host is Daniel Shaw. How's it going, Dan? What's been going on? Any more baby talk, baby news, anything I need to know about?
The baby is still in there, so that's good. That's good because the nursery is not set up yet. So just busy times in the life of Schalk and in the Schalk household. And now we're in March, so that's our time of year to shine. Not only at MFST, but just in me and in my love of sports and college basketball, baseball,
and don't forget the most important part. The Bachelor is back, apparently, so I hear.
Oh, it's not back. It's towards the end, and it's here's the thing, and Brian, I don't know if you probably don't watch it. You know, you had a hometown person in last year, but my wife makes me watch it. It's terrible. But now that we're having a daughter, it makes me terrified that she is going to somehow sneak and watch this terrible scum that is TV and The Bachelor. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's terrifying.
Yep. So I'm sorry. No, you were right. I 100% do not watch it. I don't really watch much reality TV at all. So the only thing I really watch is just reruns of My Fantasy Podcast. So and other live sporting events. So that's really all I do. So but speaking of that, last week I made a faux pas, Dan. I don't know if you even caught this, but we were talking before we actually came on the air. I was telling you that I may have found just the new perfect love in my life, right? I was starting a new relationship. It's really new. But I made the faux pas of making a joke on the podcast last week and saying I'm a single guy and, hey, ladies and stuff like that. And women catch everything, Dan. Women catch everything. So I was approached by that comment, and I was told that my significant other right now stopped watching at 2 minutes and 2 seconds into the podcast after she saw that. So women catch everything. So if you have to watch The Bachelor, you have to watch The Bachelor. We have to do what we have to do.
Here's the thing, though, I did notice that last week, and I was going to say something fresh. You don't know where the boundaries are. This new, so I'm with you. But here's the thing: The Bachelor is 2 hours long. Your new significant other 2 minutes? 2 minutes? That's not acceptable.
But it was my fault, though, right? It was my fault. But I'm saying all that to say this. I want you to back me up. Was I not bragging and talking about my new girlfriend before we went on the air, which was not heard over the airwaves? So
yes. Well, I mean, a lot of our conversations before we go on to air are censored material. So, we just didn't want to bring that to the audience. But yes, you were. And I was very happy to hear that, because a lot of people don't know the experiences that we had in a car together in Florida. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I needed to throw that out there.
So I'm sorry, Alicia. I'm sorry. I'm off the market, ladies. That's it. So, and speaking of the time we spent in the car together, Dan, I still got a lot of footage that we have yet to been released that we need to release. So I'll try to put that together in a package. You remember all that great footage, the songs we heard, the memories we made.
Yeah. The memories were good. They were good.
Spending 2+ hours in the car ride back and forth to Orlando.
4 hours a day. Yeah, that was good.
So, speaking of Orlando and training centers and big stuff happening and high flying, we promised you guys that we were going to have the Highflyer BG back. Brendan Griffin, he is back. Been patiently waiting for us to sort through all our little intros and talk about real stuff, real talk. How's it going, man? Glad you're back.
Thanks for having me. I guess the scariest part of that intro is there's tapes. A lot of changes now. I year, baby. I know you've been all over the place and doing awesome stuff yourself, and now a girlfriend on the other end with you. Wow. So a lot of changes.
And still trying to maintain a top-notch podcast. And so me and Dan may have been dropping some balls lately, so we got to have the high flyer in to pick us up and lift this thing back up. So we appreciate you for being here.
Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
So we haven't really talked to you since Super Bowl time, so I just wanted to first get your opinions and thoughts of the Patriots won again. I don't remember if we talked about this, and you were definitely a Patriots fan. I know you spent some time at the TB12 Academy, but are you a Patriots fan in general? I believe you are. And how do you feel about this? Are you just ecstatic, or is it old news at this point?
I hate to be selfish and just say, but I guess for me at this point, it's the Red Sox won and all that stuff. I have so much going on that I guess I'm not really a super fan like that. I'm happy for the team and I do love the Pats, but I'm over the point of it like affecting me either way. I think that it's exciting to watch, and there's definitely a lot of learning points from just watching a team like that, with their ups and downs and how they overcome adversity and handle the media and everyone that's kind of against them throughout the process. But after it, I just kind of move on. It's at the end of the day, it's good they won, but there's other things going on. I'm so busy. I just think they take the focus away.
Well, I think it did kind of fade away, possibly even sooner than normal this year, just because to me, honestly, and it depends on how you look at it, but the Super Bowl was just lackluster. It was not very entertaining to me at all. So I think that kind of pushed it to the back burner as well. Dan, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like the excitement of the Super Bowl wore off a little bit quicker than others too, just because the game was lackluster?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And the fact that it was the Patriots yet again, I mean, people don't want to keep talking about the dynasty. And I'm not a Patriots fan, but I respect Tom Brady and the Patriots organization as a whole. So I enjoyed it. And, and I had my time against you, Brandon, because you were saying the Patriots were going to lose every round of the playoffs. And obviously they never lost. So I did enjoy it. But yeah, it definitely didn't have the same element of the Eagles taking home the Super Bowl last year. Philadelphia didn't see a Super Bowl. I don't think ever. I think that was their first one. So you see the kind of differences. The Patriots is their sixth or seventh in how many years. So you can only get up so high for a win like that when it comes every other year, basically.
And that's just why I wanted the Chiefs to go because I think Patrick Mahomes is the future. Love that kid. And then I also thought it would have been more intriguing for a Drew Brees against Patrick Mahomes. The old master versus the young protege. Something like that, or even the Rams, which did end up making it in the Chiefs because they had such an amazing game earlier in the season. So I just thought that would have been a little bit better. But anyway, that Super Bowl talk. I'm with Brendan. Let's wrap it up. It's over. But we'll talk a little bit more about some football that I wanted to ask Brendan about on the back end of this, because I think he is kind of almost directly tied to this as well. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Leave football talk in just a minute. But I do want to catch up with you, man. And just since we've been with you last, what's been going on? I know I've been seeing some really hilarious and good wrestling promo videos on your Instagram page. Hilarious stuff. You actually stone cold stunned a dude off a bridge. So if you guys have missed that, check that out. I got Brendan's Instagram account on the screen, so you can see that and follow him there. But a lot of fun stuff going on. And what else has been going on?
Yeah, so I've just been working, kind of putting some content out there. And tried some new things last year with the content and just trying to get some more exposure. And with that, good things happen. So you got some good videos. We did the bridge. Stone Cold Stunner. I think that was cool and caught some attention. And we're gonna.
What did you call that dude too? By the way, hate to interrupt, but what did you call that dude? I forgot. I couldn't really make out what you were calling the dude that was like throwing apples at you at the out in the orchard.
Yeah, so that's the same guy. Actually, he goes by this GDM alias. So that's what I used it as, kind of like a prop, So he's great. He loves doing those videos, and we're gonna try to do some more skits not all wrestling skits, but do some funny other things to build in and, create some types of vibes that I think people will enjoy and look forward to. And some of them will also have some purpose that people can learn from, and just situations that happen in life that people, handle things a certain way, and we can bring humor to it and kind of get in people's heads when they have something similar, how to handle it in, a professional manner.
So other than I know you're a busy guy, other than working and supporting your family, but the training videos, you did take some time over the fall. Was that when you were playing semi-pro football recently, doing that along with the WWE training stuff? So a lot of stuff going on. So just what else professionally is going on for you right now?
Yeah, so semi-pro was from, I want to say June or July till November. It ended end of October, and then I was doing wrestling training while I was doing that, and producing videos and other work that I do. But I broke my finger working, so that was after football, and that was during WWE training. So I've still been training. I've still been active. I just, because of where it happened, I've had to kind of lay off a little bit from some things, and I've also taken some time to kind of step away from social media and really think about the videos that we talked about going forward and how I want to use the platform to my advantage and voice an opinion and be an influencer, but influence people in life, not just influence people because I get free products or it's the cool thing to do. I want to do what I want to do, and hopefully people will appreciate that more than appealing to the masses for other reasons. So that's kind of what's going on. And a couple other things happened in my life that, made me step back and appreciate things more and appreciate processes and really look past just social media and sports, but how to be the best me. So I like those times in my life where I kind of can step back from things and take negative situations and turn them into positives and try to personally grow. And I think that everyone has that point in their lives. When it comes up, I really like to focus in and try to, get out on top.
Well, we were just talking a little bit off camera too about almost the necessary evil of social media, especially if you're trying to become a performer or sell yourself for whatever it may be. Whether like you for example with your personal training videos, semi-pro football, WWE. I mean, whatever. If you're trying to sell yourself, it seems like that's what everyone is trying to do on social media, and it almost does give off I would say not almost. It pretty much always does give off a fake persona of who you are. And we were saying that's why I kind of like to decompress and step away almost every weekend. It just I cannot be tied to that thing, which is social media and that animal and that beast 100%, because it really isn't really healthy. And think about how far we've come in time now, where technology is almost propelling us, but almost holding us back in the same manner. So I completely understand with what you're saying there, and maybe just refocusing. But then again, the people people at home love seeing you. People like keeping up with you, especially when you put out entertaining stuff and knowledgeable stuff like you and your girlfriend do with the training videos.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is we want to just keep putting out knowledgeable things and educational things and do it with purpose and passion and educate with others. We always talk about kind of having a seat at the table in life and really being able to sit down and have conversations with people, whether they're tough conversations, business, whatever they may be, but have the knowledge to back up whatever we're saying, not just going out and winging it because we think we know something. And if there's something that we don't know, we always want to kind of step back and learn it and then be able to readdress it later. So I think that just part of getting older is just applying that stuff, and you grow better, be a better person. That's kind of what we want in society anyway. So that's hopefully what we're doing.
And you've also mentioned, I know if you follow Brendan on a lot of his social platforms, to get involved, not necessarily get involved in politics, but there's so much mudslinging and rooting for your team back and forth that you've just kind of recently been outspoken about. Just do the homework, read the stuff, view the material, educate yourself in the topic so that you can talk logically about things and have logical debates instead of just rah, this is my team, your team sucks.
Yeah, I think too, back to one time I went to Harvard and took a class, just one class with a professor, very knowledgeable law professor. And I went back and watched his TED Talk recently. And he talked about just taking 1 minute each day to do justice in your life, and whatever that may be. So that might be, you see something going on that you feel is not right in a store, and then you kind of take the time to see what's going on, and then if it's something that you can step in and help someone, fine. If not, then you took the time to make sure that the situation wasn't worse than what you might have thought in the beginning. And I think that if we apply that, to everything that we do, and the overall outcome is, much better.
Yep, 100%. Dan, break this up so the folks aren't staring at my face so much. What do you want to talk to Brendan about?
Well, I know we're gonna touch on it in a little bit, and that's the AAF. So I'm gonna leave that for a few more minutes. But with your finger injury, Brendan, are you planning on playing semi-pro ball again this coming year? I mean, if it starts in June or anything, are you putting that on hiatus, or what are your outlook sport-wise in the next coming months?
And how did the injury happen? I was curious about that. Was it WWE training or was it football?
No, it was neither. Actually, it was not. I was working, and so one of the things that I do is engineer fire alarm systems. So I take plans, build up construction, put the prints together, go out and survey buildings. Before that, I was in the insurance business, outside of like our marketing and stuff that we do. So it tied in well with building code and law with buildings and all that stuff, and it was less businessy, where I could be kind of more myself and people weren't as judgmental about what my passions and goals were outside, and maybe took me a little less serious, even though I might have had more, knowledge than what they were going to accept. They kind of looked at me as like, oh, he wants to be an athlete. He doesn't want to be in insurance. So with this, I can kind of take that knowledge and apply it. And contract is a more, easygoing, less judgmental. And then when you do the, background and have the information, makes it easier to just help sell the jobs. So I went to look at a building that had an issue with a fire alarm system, and the owner didn't tell me that there was a major hole in the floor. I stepped through a hole and fell and whacked my finger on a sprinkler system. And I've been going to doctors and they haven't gotten it right. So I'm still training because they told me I could train, but it's like, hey, my finger's not right. This is absolutely ridiculous. I wrestle, I do all these ridiculous things, and I don't break my finger and I whack the side of it. So the funny story is that, and in the meantime, I've been going to a gym near me doing American Ninja training. I threw a video in just kind of for the heck of it and liked the training because it incorporated a lot of body movements that I had never done before. So it's getting me much stronger and my ability to move better for other sports. So it's something that I think all athletes should do, because you get really strong, not just weight strong. So if you can do, 30 pull-ups, pull yourself over a bar, be able to swing back and forth, you have good strength that will translate better to the field, the weight room. So I've been doing that with my finger and just kind of dealing with it till they get it right. So your question about semi-pro, yeah, I mean, I will, as long as the team situation's right. I know that you had mentioned the AAF. I get emails all the time to go to tryouts for that and the CFL, but it's kind of a game if you don't know anyone. And because I'm so busy with everything else, I just never gone. Maybe sometime I will, just for the fun of it, but it's not like the NFL where you have an agent or stuff like that. Those tryouts can be a big waste of time. So if I find a good one, maybe I will. But yeah, my plan is just to keep grinding, and whatever comes of it, I'm not gonna, sell my soul off for these things to happen. They'll kind of happen by doing the right things.
And so are you still in communication with WWE? Is that door still open, or is there other, future endeavors there as far as tryouts and whatnot?
So yeah, I do communicate with them. I always want to kind of stay on people's radar. I want to be in the condition to maybe have a match or something like that at some point. I'm not ruling anything out. I just kind of want to see what progresses and what's best for me. And I have some other ideas sports-wise that I've talked to some people about that I want to put together that might be able to encompass all the sports that I love and not feel like I'm missing out on one or another. And that's kind of something that I've talked about building towards for the future, not only for myself, but other athletes to challenge current pros and retired pros to different types of events. And I think that a lot of people would like it. For instance, take Ken Griffey Jr. Wouldn't you love to see Ken Griffey Jr. and Bryce Harper have a home run derby? You never know. Ken Griffey Jr. could still rake, you know? So I think bringing some type of entertainment for athletes to challenge, you know, others and take it from there, I think that would be a huge platform and keep athletes like me that, you know, still want to play, but leagues might not be open to it, opportunity to challenge people in other sports and see what comes of that. So it's just a lot of ideas that I'm putting together and speaking with different people on, and whatever works out will be the right thing.
Oh, you mentioned baseball and Ken Griffey, who was one of my favorite players. Growing up, Jose Canseco, I guess, was my favorite player just because he was just one of the Bash brothers, and Oakland was so exciting that time. But Dan, hey, he just mentioned Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey's swing is the equivalent to, I guess, maybe Ray Allen's jump shot, just the purest and sweetest swing in baseball. Dan, what do you think about that? Was Griffey the purest?
Yeah, I mean, Ken Griffey, you can't go wrong. I love that idea. I think that's great. I would definitely pay to see Ken Griffey swing again, or one of my childhood idols, Tony Romo, throw that football again instead of getting out of that announcing booth. And
how about take on Tiger Woods in the golf? How about it's Romo versus Tiger the next time around instead of the Phil Mickelson Tiger challenge that they did.
Yeah, that's kind of where my idea came from, and I think if you keep it raw and have it like fun like that, that's better than watching the NFL. Take Romo and put Terrell Owens out there with, you know, Ty Law and anyone. Patrick Peterson, I'd watch that. You put some matchups out there, people would tune in. And I think there could be a lot done with it. It's just kind of finding the right platform, how to do it, who to pitch it to, and just seeing what other athletes like it, I think, first is what matters most. The networks and all those things, I think if you have an idea, people will like it. Just kind of talking to other athletes and saying, hey, what do you think about this? You think people would be down? You kind of see it with the 3-on-3 already. So, and think there's probably athletes from other sports like LeBron James that would be amazing to watch in a 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 football game. You put, you know, gear on, you'd let them hit. I mean, people aren't going to be out there like the XFL, but you'd want to make it as real of a 3-on-3 as possible, and people would tune into that.
They definitely will. And you may be onto something there, because I even heard of news this week where, you know, Adam Silver came out and said, look, the All-Star competition is dying. I think the Team LeBron versus Team Giannis thing flopped. And I kind of agree with that. And I don't know what you do to make that better, and I think the Pro Bowl needs to take some of those same, you know, approaches too, because the game is garbage. No one watches the game. They don't play defense. No one wants to hit anybody. And now the NBA is kind of the same way, because you don't really want to play physical defense on a guy. That's why we just saw, what was it, 4,000 points scored in this last NBA All-Star game. It was ridiculous. So let's do, I think even was proposed maybe like a 3-on-3 tournament or something like that. It's hard to, you know, kind of balance giving the guys necessary rest and time off, because it is an all-star break, but still entertaining the fans without a ridiculous game, because the games mean nothing. The Pro Bowl is the worst, in my opinion, and the NBA All-Star game is not too far behind anymore. And I've never really liked the MLB All-Star game because players only play 2-3 innings. It's I don't know, something's got to be done to entertain folks in a different way. And the 3-on-3 tournament you were mentioning, you know, over the summer that runs, I think that's been pretty entertaining. I've been watching a lot of it.
Yeah, it's at least it's bringing old names back too, and even the home run derby is not as good as it was. I think they've kind of gotten to a point where there's so much money involved. The players are making so much money. It's just, I don't know. I think they're blowing the leagues up the way they're doing it with these things, and there could be something done, and it could be entertaining and not just like the games are just like video games at that point, where we can make these challenges a little more real, or at least these athletes have something to prove. And there could be guys that get cut from other leagues that come and try that are just as good as some of the NFL players that are still trying to get in the game. And it could be a platform for players that still need looks to get out there, because now they're on a big screen. People are watching, showing that they can compete. I don't know. I think there's other platforms right now that could be tapped into.
And that just made me think about something. So what about even like the dunk contest? Open it up to not only the G League, but even like maybe some Euro leagues and some other maybe outsiders. Let's see who really is the best dunker in it. And if this guy from Grand Rapids, Michigan, beats one of the NBA players in the dunk contest, I guess that maybe makes your product look a little bad. I don't know, but man, wouldn't that be entertaining?
Look at it, like McGregor and Mayweather. I mean, that brought a ton of money in. You bring up the dunk contest. There's a kid in New York. Look him up on Instagram. Better Bounce. This kid can dunk. He's like 5'8" or 5'6". He is insane. He's from New York. He's an Italian kid, so he's not by any means a blessed jumper. Worked hard and got to where he is, and it's someone like him should be in it. If you look up his IG, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yep, good ideas. So I agree with you there for sure. You got to make these things entertaining. That's also kind of the necessary evil of social media too, Brendan, is because we're being force fed everything in front of us all day, every day, highlights, everything like that. We got to find new ways to keep things fresh, and it's going to get harder and harder. But we talked about something on the last podcast, Brendan, is the AAF, and I just kind of wanted to get your opinion of it. So what my opinion is that it's great for guys like you who are trying to make a big contract, make the NFL need maybe just that little bit of just a spotlight to shine, and just the love of the game. You want to keep playing, and you can make some money doing it. I love it for reasons like that. But me personally, once this Super Bowl ended, I'm not watching football anymore as a spectator. I'm just done with it. So I worry about the longevity of leagues like that. And then you mentioned the XFL before. Next year, you're going to have the XFL competing with the AAF. So I just think it's almost too much. They're going to saturate and consume each other, and I don't know how both of them are going to survive. So just curious your take of the AAF and what you've seen and liked or disliked about it so far, and even next year when the XFL joins in the same time frame as well. Now, I guess maybe that's the part problem I have with it. You start right after NFL football. I know a lot of people are still hungry for football, but for me that's basketball time, and I'm not thinking about semi-pro football at that time as a spectator.
Yes, I haven't really watched any of the games, to be honest with you. I've followed some guys that I know that played in other leagues on there, and they had another league, but the one that I played in, the FXFL, which lasted a year or 2 years. I'm not really sure. I think it was a year, and then a few weeks into a second season, it was out. But I think that it's a financial thing. A lot of people invest a lot of money into these leagues. You got to figure gear, insurance, teams, contracts. I mean, we could just keep going down the list. It's not starting, an Amazon store. So to get traffic to these games and get views and all that stuff, it's a lot of work. It's not a lucrative business, and to keep it running, you got to have ratings and get people in somehow. It's good for the guys. They just need to stay active and playing and getting the hits and stuff like that. I just think these leagues are tough to really develop a feeder system for the NFL. I think that maybe expanding the NFL rosters would be a good option. They have 52 guys. Why not make it 75 and at least let them have, guys that can be on the practice squad, not 10 or 8 or whatever it is. Why don't you do 75 and 25? You can use 100 guys. I mean, people are getting hurt. It gives more guys options. It makes practice better because you have more guys that are willing to compete. I think that if you expanded rosters like that, you would have potentially what they're doing in these other leagues with these guys. And just having a better system with it. I think it's kind of tough with these leagues because, like we just said, it's money and it's hard. At least with minor league baseball, they have beautiful parks. They rent them out to AAU teams. They do a lot of other things with the parks, and the guys are already making decent money there, baseball players, a guaranteed contract. So I think it's just the toughest system, and you see it very similar with the NBA. So it's, again, a problem of views and entertainment and getting these guys enough tape where an NFL coach or an NBA coach is happy with their progress. I think some of those guys are probably ready to play right now. It's just a make or break situation, and it is what it is.
Yep, it's a delicate fine line, and that's why I really appreciate it. And really, the only reason I accept it is because of it. If it could be a feeder system into the NFL or possibly expand, but just like you said, is I feel like it's going to be hard to get TV contracts in the future because the ratings are just not going to be there. I got an AAF team right in my own backyard in Memphis. No one's going to these games. The few pictures I saw of the last game was absolutely horrible. I mean, like maybe a few hundred people. There was like no one in the Liberty Bowl. So I think it's going to continue to struggle like that, and it's hard to have a spectator sport when there are no spectators. So, but love it for the guys, the players. Dan, what else you got for BG?
Man, I don't know. When we have the high flyer on MFST, just like we high fly. So I'm just grateful that he was able to come on and the way you kind of give us you kind of enlighten me a little bit on not loving sports so much, although you're into sports, but having these other opportunities that come up, it's inspiring, BG. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on and everything that you do. MFST is behind you, and we're definitely supporting you as you go, and it's kind of like a I don't want to say I'm having a little baby girl, but you're kind of like my kid, and I'm just watching you grow from afar. I like it. I don't know. It touches me on the inside there.
Well, you know what I was just thinking? I'm thinking I'm significantly older than BG, but I see him as almost like a father figure because he's so well-rounded and so teaching things. And every time he comes on the podcast, I'm like, man, he inspires me. I think I'm about to go work out right now.
You know what? I love coming on these podcasts. I feel like I get inspired after it too. It's like it's good conversation is really what it is. You guys do a good job with your show, and it opens me up to talk and get a lot out of it. So I think it's mutually beneficial in so many areas.
I do have a side question. You said you were doing American Ninja stuff, and I've watched the show quite a bit. And bigger guys actually struggle a lot to doing a lot of that ninja stuff. It's always the smaller, compact, lightweight athletes that kind of succeed in those courses. How is that for you to handle that? Because you're a bigger guy. You got some mass to you. So holding yourself up and doing all those things, that's got to be difficult.
It's brutal. It's funny. So I never really watched the show. My girlfriend was doing some marketing for someone, and they were picking people that had been on the show. So she was saying, "Oh, why don't you apply?" And I kind of knew what went into it. I'm like, "No, I'm not. That's not me. I'm not that kind of. I can't swing and do those flips, and I can do them into a pool or trampoline, but I'm not that flexible." But then we knew the application was done in January, I believe, and she kept kind of pushing me, and I found a gym that's really close to my house where some of the people had been on the show already. So we took a look at the application, and it was crazy. It was like applying to college again. I probably put more work into this than my college application just because I enjoy writing now and putting good answers down. So we've spent a lot of time. We did a video, and then it became time to start training because I hadn't done really any training. I had gone there 1 or 2 times, so I started training. But a lot of the people doing it that are excellent are 120 pounds lighter than me, and they're small. So I've liked the challenge of getting it down and using my body, and like I said to you guys earlier, I've become so much more flexible and strong in other areas, and it's fun. I enjoy it. I mean, regardless if I ever got picked for the show or not, it would be cool. But the training, I think it is translated into just being better in the gym and other things. So I'm kind of using it as just a new challenge, something to learn, and try to get other athletes, especially younger kids, in there. Some of the kids that go to the gym that are 11, 12 years old, amazing. And from what I've heard, it really translates into their other sports because they do things that 11 and 12-year-olds aren't doing on a daily basis. So then put them on a court or field, they're studs. So if I have a child, I probably get my child into that stuff early. It's all core and body weight strength. So it's cool. It's something cool.
Well, we look forward to that. I mean, I hope that would be great to see someday. You're just all over the place. So we appreciate you spending time with us. So, but before we do let you go, because you do have so many entertaining platforms, I want you to tell the people at home just how to reach you, how to reach out to BG, Highflyer BG, Brendan Griffin on the different social media platforms.
Yeah, so it's just Highflyer BG 11, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So yeah, they are all the same.
There you go. So I've actually got a tag, so we'll put on the screen there. So that's it, Highflyer BG11. That's how you can find Brendan. But I do kind of have one more question. So I noticed some chairs back behind you there. Are those the chairs that are going to be laid over the head of some jabroni in the future on some of these upcoming videos?
Well, no, on that, actually, my dad's, he has a CPA firm, so I'm in his office using his desk. So, I mean, I don't think he'd be too happy to use them, but new chat, we do that. Maybe we just use those as like a funny skit to really get my dad going.
Well, we're going to keep an eye out, and we'll have you back soon. Love these catch-ups, and it's just, like you said, it's just good conversation, man. So we appreciate it, Brendan.
Thank you. Can't wait to be back. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Appreciate it. So, Dan, before we sign off, what's going on MFST? We got March Madness coming up real soon and draft profiles coming up soon. I think that's the really big things going on right now on MFST.
Yeah, two things we're known for in My Fantasy Sports Talk: college basketball coverage, NFL draft coverage. I don't know if you saw this today, Brandon, but we got the NEC conference tournament covered tonight. Quarterfinal action. You going to be watching Fairleigh Dickinson and Wagner?
So I'm trying to wrap this thing up, Dan. You holding me up here. I got Fairleigh Dickinson Wagner coming up.
Exactly. So that's where I'm headed after this. So that's what is where college basketball is. I'm big into conference tournaments. I love, just like the NCAA tournament. Canisius, the team that I cover, that well, Brandon, number 2 seed they got in the MAC with a 14 and 16 record, and they're still that number 2 seed. So we'll see. They were the number 2 seed last year, and they lost in the first round. But that's taking place this weekend in Albany. So I'm looking forward. Isn't it
just something about a tournament in college basketball that's just the most exciting thing to me? I really don't even care what it was. Like the Advocare Invitational that we attended in Orlando this year. It's exciting because it's a tournament format, and you never know what's going to happen in college basketball. That's where I think college football is really missing the boat, in my opinion. You need a playoff scenario. You need games to mean something.
100% agree, and I can't wait for it to happen. So that's going to be happening soon, and then of course fantasy baseball. You're going to be drafting this coming Sunday. Actually, this coming 4 days away. So you better get prepared. And if you want, there's rankings on the site under the baseball section. So there you go. I
bookmarked them a long time ago because you put them out a long time ago. So I might be prepared. We'll see. I don't know. Championship, me and you again, showdown. The question is T-Take going to even be relevant? I don't know. He talks all this mess, and baseball is his sport, so where's he going to finish?
I don't know. I'm going to call T-Take out for a second, too, because he didn't understand the meaning behind my team name 7. And if he calls himself a Seinfeld fan and you're asking me why I named my team name 7, you got some other issues. And maybe he should name his kid Soda.
Yeah. What is it? What's the other names? Bisquick. Yeah, you ain't a Seinfeld fan if you don't get that reference at all.
Get out of here, T-Take.
So we'll see. We got a lot of entertaining guys going to be in the baseball league drafting this coming Sunday. Our man Nick Pertins, though, had to step away. We found out in the last podcast. Raising little Colton, we're going to be running around all over the place. So baseball season is a long, grueling season. So Nick Pertins had to step away. Still in line for a possible basketball championship, though. We'll see. Looks like me and Nick will be facing off in the first round of the fantasy basketball playoffs, and after beating me for the NFL football championship, I can't wait. I cannot wait, Dan Schalk, and then I'll probably be facing Casey Birch in the next round.
Well, good luck to that. And I don't know why it just hit me now, but did you know Nick's baby's name is the same name as The Bachelor? Colton.
I did not know that.
How the world turns. The world just turns. Crazy.
I wouldn't have known that because I'm not forced to watch The Bachelor.
Well, You know, well, hey,
Sorry.
you are now in a relationship, Brandon, so it could get to
But
that
the
point
Bachelor,
one day.
Bachelor, that's why we may be a perfect match in heaven, because the Bachelor and none of those other reality shows have never come up, and I'm not going to bring them up. So we're in a good situation. Thanks for watching another My Fantasy podcast from myfantasysportstalk.com. Just check out the site. So much going on there. So for my co-host, Dan Schalk, I want to thank the Highflyer BG, Brandon Griffin, for joining us again. Keep an eye on him. Follow him on social media accounts at Highflyer BG 11. I'm Brandon Reed signing off. Till next time. Later. Peace.